Hello, and thank you for joining me today. It seems that we have reached a point where we need to start talking about the development and furthering of support for adjunct faculty, and specifically looking at orientation and support. At this point, organizational improvements along the lines and concerning adjunct faculty at Beta College really are looking at addressing some of the current issues, such as not really having a streamlined process for bringing new adjunct faculty on board. And there really isn't a centralized location for adjuncts to ask questions. There's really not a way for adjuncts to communicate with other adjuncts unless they happen to bump into each other in the hallway. And there's not a lot of ongoing training or support. There are a few things offered here and there, but definitely some improvements could be made there as well. And moving forward, as Halverson, Kelly, and Shaw presented in their study, new assessments of leadership are needed to support the development of organizational capacity for school improvement. We need tools that capture the degree to which leaders establish conditions to support the practices of others and create an organizational context to support reform efforts. In other words, we really need to look at where can we start reining things in, creating some connections, and supporting our adjunct faculty more. At Beta College, we have more than 70% of our faculty is adjunct, and we need to start looking at how to centralize a little bit of it and how to get adjuncts to start connecting with each other and their departments. In order to do this, looking at an office specifically just for adjuncts, and looking at a director of that office that could help coordinate efforts would be very key. Onboarding and orientation training are things that, if we can streamline them and create a consistent, sustainable process for anyone that is new coming into our college, not only familiarizing them with how things typically are run or who to connect with, but also creating a way for them to connect with other adjuncts who have taught here before, are familiar with the learning management system, and also may have some suggestions as to different things along the lines of best practices, whether it's behavior in classrooms, assessment, developing lessons, or a good syllabus. There are a lot of things that can stem from sort of centralizing and creating an office for adjunct faculty. If we look at the use of an adjunct faculty office, we want it to be something that's centralized, easy to access, and that there's someone there, such as a director, that could field questions and concerns. This could also be a place where adjuncts could order copies, they could make copies, maybe get a few basic office materials. If they have a student that needs to drop off a paper or pick up a test or anything like that, it can serve as kind of a mail location. And certainly it would be nice to have a computer accessible in case adjuncts need to look something up really quick and maybe print it off before they teach a class. If we create a director of adjunct faculty, in terms of the office, we're looking at a person who is the go-to person. They're the connection for the adjuncts. They're also the liaison between Beta College and certainly between full-time faculty and adjunct faculty. This person would handle a lot of the communication for adjunct faculty, and this can be from email, phone calls, video calls, newsletters, any kind of weekly or monthly information or updates. This person could create an adjunct faculty handbook. It could be something that could be updated and distributed to every new adjunct. There could be a checklist created that, in conjunction with HR, the director of the adjunct office can make sure that this checklist is something that every new adjunct goes through to make sure that the HR paperwork is completed, that they know how to get an ID and a parking pass, that they understand they need to go through an orientation, that training will be provided, whether it's an annual training or whether it's different kinds of less formal trainings like lunch and learn types of things. And this person, the director, could also be someone that can start developing some ongoing training and educational opportunities for our adjunct faculty. Streamlining orientation would be very key for new adjuncts, and this would start from the initial contact in terms of having an interview until when this person actually begins teaching a course. So once this person has been interviewed, they would be contacted by the adjunct office from the director. They would receive a checklist, a handbook, directions for how to get an ID and a parking pass. They would certainly get an email address. There would be a list that would help them immensely in terms of helpful information as to not just where certain departments are, but who to contact if they're looking for something through the library. Maybe they need to contact the registrar once in a while regarding a student. If they need to contact student advising, student counseling center, security, informational technology, student conduct, these are all offices that along the line of teaching every semester, there's a good chance the adjunct might need to contact one of these offices. The orientation meeting would be key for all new adjuncts, and this would be something that could occur every fall and every winter before the next semester begins. This would be an opportunity to make sure that everyone coming on board at the same time gets a chance to connect and know that they're not the only new person, and any key information that's vital to instruction, to working at the college, anything that someone might need to know would be covered in an orientation meeting. In regards to specific training, the adjunct faculty office could have particular topics that would help along helping with best teaching practices, whether it's engaging students online, student assessments, motivating students, best practices with PowerPoints. These are all just a few ideas that can keep adjuncts fresh and incorporating anything new into their teaching if they so choose. From the campus side, the director of the adjunct department could connect with other departments and try to facilitate departments working with their adjuncts so that all adjuncts in that department know what the grading policies and procedures are, if there's any specific testing that is required if they happen to be teaching a general education class, any assessments, formal or informal, that the department is looking for, and certainly keeping adjuncts informed of any accreditation updates and procedures. The director of the adjunct faculty office could also collaborate and work a little bit more with instructional technology to make sure that any new adjuncts coming on board know and understand the learning management system that is used, any capabilities that are available or updates in terms of not only the LMS, but certainly any programs that are available in which to teach and utilize in the classroom. One of the most important things that could really come out of developing an adjunct faculty office and having a director of adjunct faculty is creating an online commons or forum where adjunct could go and connect and talk with each other. The director could also facilitate coffee talks or roundtable discussions. These could be as casual as come into the office, maybe it's every Friday at noon kind of thing, or it could be any kind of online virtual meeting so that they could be set at different times depending on when adjuncts might be available. Could be evenings, it could be mornings, daytime, depends on people's schedules. It would be very helpful for the adjunct faculty director to look at conducting some type of a monthly Zoom meeting. Maybe it could be encouraging someone in each department to hold that meeting so that there's a liaison, a full-time person from the department also interacting with the adjuncts in their department. The director could also set up annual training workshops. These would be things that adjuncts could attend, learn any updated information new to their field, how to handle things like student conduct, or how to develop lessons that maybe if they're posted online, they're much more accessible for students that need adjusted accessibility. There certainly would be an opportunity to encourage an annual recognition event. This could be a dinner, it could be something where they offer everyone tickets to go see an event in the area. We have local sports teams, and maybe that would be another way to foster connections between adjuncts. When we talk about the idea of an adjunct online forum, the full purpose of this would really be an online room or site, so to speak, where adjuncts could seek support from each other. They could assist each other in developing syllabus, lesson plans, or any other issues, their concerns, or just needs they might be having. They can help guide each other. It's a place to meet others, to connect, whether it's in the same field or a different field. It's a way to share resources and collaborate, whether it's lesson planning or whether it's tests, just new ideas and approaches to interacting with students and helping to foster their learning. For the most part, the adjunct faculty office would really be looking to facilitate as much communication as possible, whether it's having information come from the college and making sure that it gets distributed to the adjuncts through timely emails if they need to be sent out, or a monthly newsletter. Maybe it's even, as we've talked about, any kind of online or in-person trainings. And certainly another way to foster communication is to have them have the director talk with departments and ask departments to try to include adjuncts as much as possible. Overall, a lot of focus could be put on developing, incorporating, and moving into a better space of supporting our adjuncts. Again, it's a huge population of instructors here at our campus. So from looking at the first interview to assisting and supporting the adjunct through orientation, training, and getting checklists done so that they can hit their first class and feel prepared. And certainly beyond that, as they continue their time here on our campus, we want adjuncts to feel that they are part of the university, that they have opportunities to connect with each other and receive any support that they might possibly need during their career here at Beta College.